Welcome to another episode of the Japan Reach podcast. Embark on an exciting journey through the heart of Japan, its vibrant culture, fascinating traditions, and the stories that make it truly extraordinary. Our team has traveled far and wide across Japan, immersing ourselves in its rich culture and connecting with its incredible people. Now we're bringing those unforgettable experiences straight to you. From hidden gems to captivating guest stories, each episode dives into what makes Japan unique and inspiring. I grew up in the United States, mostly in a state called Missouri, that is right in the center of the country. And religion plays a big part in our lives. There are churches, both big and small, and we used to joke that there was a church on every corner across from a Chinese restaurant, where people tend to go after Sunday service. I wasn't very religious growing up, but I did like Chinese food. So today I thought we might talk in a very general sense about religion in Japan. It's probably more complicated than you might think, as it is a blend of tradition, ritual, and daily life, rather than a focus on formal belief systems. The country's religious landscape has been shaped by native traditions like Shinto, as well as imported religions such as Buddhism, Confucianism, and Christianity. Over time, these religions have coexisted, merged, and influenced Japanese culture in deep and lasting ways. Let's talk about it. Shinto is the oldest religion in Japan and has no known founder or sacred scripture. It developed naturally from ancient animistic beliefs among early Japanese communities. The word Shinto means the way of the kami, with kami being spirits or gods that exist in nature, people, objects, and ancestors. Anything awe-inspiring, like a mountain, waterfall, or even a person, might be considered kami. To that end, while there are few kami that are named, like Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and Konohana Sakura, covered in episode 12, she's the goddess of Mount Fuji, there are potentially millions upon millions that inhabit a beautiful tree or a shiny rock that are unknown. Shinto was not originally a structured religion. Instead, it focused on rituals, seasonal festivals, and respect for natural forces and ancestors. Rituals were performed to maintain harmony between humans, nature, and the kami. These practices were local and community-based, passed down through generations. The earliest written sources that describe Shinto beliefs and myths are the Kojiki, which was written in about 1712 AD, and Nihon Shoki, about 720 AD. These texts contain creation myths, including the story of the gods Izanagi and Izanami forming the Japanese islands, and the sun goddess Amaterasu, who became a central figure in Shinto and is considered the ancestor of the Japanese imperial family. Shinto shrines, marked by torii gates, are found throughout the country. Worship at these shrines usually involves purification, washing hands and mouth, making an offering, and praying for health, success, or protection. Buddhism. Buddhism arrived in Japan from China and Korea around the 6th century AD. At first it was viewed as a foreign religion, but over time it merged with native beliefs and became a major part of Japanese spirituality. Different forms of Buddhism took root in Japan. Mahayana Buddhism, this form, which emphasizes compassion and the pursuit of enlightenment for all beings, became the foundation of Japanese Buddhism. Zen Buddhism, introduced from China. Zen focused on meditation, mindfulness, and direct experience over scriptures. It influenced Japanese art, tea ceremonies, and martial arts. Pure Land Buddhism. This form teaches that salvation comes through devotion to Amida Buddha, who provides rebirth in a pure land after death. It remains one of the most popular forms of Buddhism in Japan today. Buddhism brought with it new temples, religious texts, and philosophies about suffering, rebirth, and enlightenment. Buddhist funerals and memorial services became and remain the norm in Japan, while Shinto is more focused on life and nature. Interestingly, rather than one religion replacing the other, Shinto and Buddhism blended together in daily life. It became common for people to visit Shinto shrines for blessing during births, weddings, and the New Year, and rely on Buddhist temples for funerals and ancestor worship. This combination, known as Shinbutsu Shogu, was practiced for over 1,000 years. Temples and shrines often stood next to each other, and many rituals combined both religious traditions. However, during the Meiji Restoration, started in 1868, the Japanese government sought to separate Shinto from Buddhism in an effort to promote state Shinto, a form of Shinto centered around emperor worship and national pride. Buddhist temples lost government support, while Shinto was promoted as the official national ideology. This division ended after World War II, when state Shinto was abolished and freedom of religion was established under the new Japanese Constitution. Confucianism. Though not a religion in the traditional sense, Confucianism has deeply shaped Japanese values and social structure. Introduced from China, Confucian teachings emphasize loyalty, respect for elders, education, and duty. These ideas became part of Japanese political systems and family life, especially during the Edo period from 1608 to 1868, when the Tokugawa shogunate promoted Confucian ethics to maintain social order. Confucian influence can still be seen today in Japan's respect for authority, emphasis on harmony and community, and formal social customs. Christianity. Christianity first arrived in Japan in the mid-1500s with Portuguese missionaries, most famously St. Francis Xavier. At first it gained many converts, including some regional lords, but the government grew suspicious of foreign influence. By the early 1600s, Christianity was banned, missionaries were expelled or executed, and Japanese Christians were forced to practice in secret. These underground believers became known as Kakure Kirishitan, hidden Christians. Christianity remained underground until the 19th century, when Japan opened to the West. Today, Christians make up a small percentage of the population, about 1%, but churches still play a role in weddings, holidays, and charitable work. Today, Japan is largely a secular state, but religious customs still play a major role in culture and tradition. Most people in Japan don't identify strongly with a single religion, and many take part in multiple religious practices without seeing a conflict. This reflects Japan's flexible, non-dogmatic approach to spirituality. For example, Shinto practices might include visiting shrines for New Year's Day, making offerings for safe childbirth or good exam results, and taking part in local festivals, matsuri. Buddhist practices might include holding funerals, participating in Oban, a festival to honor the spirit of ancestors, and praying at family altars. Christian practices might include celebrating Christmas. In Japan, it's largely a secular holiday, and having Western-style weddings. Religious identity in Japan is more about participation in tradition than belief in doctrine. A person might visit a shrine in the morning, attend a Buddhist funeral in the afternoon, and enjoy a Christmas cake at night, all without feeling the need to choose one religion over another. So, religion in Japan is not about strict rules or exclusive belief. It's about ritual, respect, and community. From the ancient traditions of Shinto to the philosophical influence of Buddhism, Confucianism, Japan's religious history is rich and layered. Modern Japanese people may not be deeply religious in a conventional sense, but religion still plays a major part in their lives through festivals, family customs, and the quiet respect for nature and ancestors that continues to shape the spirit of the nation. Over the next few episodes, we will dig into the three major religions in Japan, Shinto, Buddhism, and Christianity, and talk about the beliefs, history, and impact of the various religions on Japan's society. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Stay tuned over the next few weeks as we cover each of the individual religious traditions within Japan. If you like this episode or any of our other episodes, follow us for more. If you want to hear about a particular topic, drop a note below and let us know. See you next time. God bless and Jamata.